Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Oh, hang on, my dog is barking. I'm pet sitting, so Macy, you have to be quiet while I talk to the kids. Thank you very much. We are on lesson number 17, and we are going to be talking about Honduras in North America. I've actually been to Honduras. I was on a cruise ship headed towards the Panama Canal. So again, I've seen a few parts of these countries. All right, today we leave the Caribbean islands and return to the mainland of North America. We will be visiting Honduras, sometimes known as the Banana Republic. This name came about in the early 20th century because the economy was almost entirely dependent on the export of bananas and coffee. For such a small nation in Central America, Honduras has a long history of differing cultures and is home to a remarkably diversity of landforms and ecosystems. It has coastline on both the Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean, and shared land borders with Guatemala, Nicaragua, and El Salvador. Unfortunately, Honduras is one of the poorest nations in the Americas, but this has made the people very resilient. Our first extension activity of lesson 17 is look up pictures of banana plantations and research growing practices for bananas. If you want, eat a banana while you research. So what are the featured and what are the landmarks of Honduras? Indigenous stories from Honduras tell of a white house, Ciudad Blanca, where the native peoples took refuge from the Spanish conquistadors. It is described as a Paris-like place where people went and were never seen again. Since the early 20th century, there have been multiple expeditions to find the lost city in the Honduran jungle. Most of these expeditions ended with nothing, but recently it is believed that they may have found this lost city and perhaps even a lost civilization. After identifying a possible location and using modern technology called a LiDAR scanner, light detection, those are all abbreviations, you guys. No, that's not the right word. Acronym? Yeah, acronym. Light detection and ranging, recreating a 3D image. An expansive area of land was identified as having the jungle floor altered by humans. A team of archaeologists from Honduras and the United States went on a ground exploration to discover what the LiDAR scanner had noticed on the ground. What they discovered was truly remarkable. An ancient city lost beneath the jungle with evidences of houses, public buildings, plazas, a pyramid, and possibly even irrigation canals and water reservoirs. All these were discovered along with a large number of stone sculptures peeking up through the jungle floor. Over 50 artifacts were found partially exposed in the jungle, and it is assumed that many more are completely buried. To find an archaeological site that has been so untouched in the 21st century is incredibly rare and has been absolutely amazing for the people experiencing this magnificent find. The culture represented by the city is almost unknown, and there is no name for it. Honduran archaeologists believe that the artifacts date from 1000 to 1400 AD. The exact location of this remarkable archaeological find has not been publicized in order to prevent it from being robbed. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see, what's about the land and the animals? Deep in the heart of Honduras, we come to one of the few remaining places where Central American tropical rainforest can be found. It is called the Rio Plantado Biosphere Reserve. This 1,351 square mile tract of land is the largest protected area of Honduras and home to an untold wealth of creatures and history. Originally protected for its archaeological significance, there are over 200 identified historical sites. It is also home to over 2,000 indigenous people from at least 4 different people groups. The preservation of this remarkable jungle ecosystem is integral to the lifestyles of these peoples. Dense rainforest covers most of this reserve, both on the mountains and in the lowlands, although smaller areas of other ecosystems exist here too. Wetlands, savannas, and even lagoons along the coast provide habitat for hundreds of creatures. Over half the mammals in the entire country are represented in this section of the country, along with several endangered animals like the giant anteater and the great green macaw. The great green macaw, also called Buffon's macaw, or is it Buffon's? Must be Buffon's macaw, is a delightful green bird with a red forehead and pale blue on some of the feathers. This bird vocalizes loud squawks and growls, as well as another sound similar to a creaking ah. These birds are dependent on the swamp almond tree for both nesting sites inside the hollow tree and the fruit as a significant source of food. These birds are considered endangered with very few left in the wild. The drastic deforestation of the Central America countries has contributed to the habitat loss. This habitat loss, as well as capturing them for captivity, is responsible for decreased populations. Extension activity. Find a video or sound clips of the great green macaw. What kind of food do they grow in Honduras? Honduras is known around the world for exporting bananas and coffee, but there is more to their food than these two exports. The most prominent staples in the Honduran diet are beans, corn, and plantains. Many meals are served with a stack of tasty corn tortillas. The national dish of Honduras is called plato típico. The direct translation of the name is typical plate, and it encompasses many of the locally available foods. For breakfast, refried beans, tortillas, cheese, fried plantains, and eggs may grace your plate, while a dinner plate, típico, might consist of refried beans, rice, avocado, cheese, steak, chorizo, fried plantains, or tortillas. Ordering this dish in a Honduran restaurant is a guaranteed way to experience their culture through food. There are many other dishes worth trying in Honduras, including tamales made with corn flour and meat or beans, or baleadas, which are tortillas stuffed with eggs, refried beans, cheese, and avocado. A pupusa is a thick tortilla with cheese melted inside it. These are just a few of the typical dishes you will taste in Honduras. A pupusa, that sounds like a, what do you call that? Quesadilla. And the boleadas sounds like breakfast burrito to me. Okay, history and culture of Honduras. The people of Honduras are deeply connected to their families and their history. Family plays an important role in the life of the people, with close family relationships being significant in the home and in the marketplace. We've already discovered the great storytelling abilities of the Hondurans in keeping the Ciudad Blanca story alive for hundreds of years. Now we are going to look at another piece of history connected to legend that has been passed down for over 150 years. There is a city in Honduras famous for its fish rain. For over 100 years, fish have appeared on the ground, in the streets, and the fields after an intense rainstorm each year. This is the only place in the world where it has happened in a recurring yearly pattern. Although there are many theories about what might cause the fish rain, we are going to look at the local legend told in Honduras. In the mid-19th century, the Spanish had control of Honduras, and this legend began to spread as an explanation for this strange phenomenon. The city of Yoro was visited by a Spanish priest, José Manuel. It is said that this priest saw how poor the people were, so he prayed for 3 days, asking God to help the people of Yoro. When the 3 days were over, it began to rain, and small fish fell from the sky. It was a miracle and an answer to prayer. The people of Yoro look forward to this rain every year, as they are still a relatively poor region, and these fish are a welcome addition to a diet of corn and beans. All right, you guys, our first hands-on activity, or the second, maybe. Many of the artifacts found in the Ciudad Blanca were clay statues. Use some modeling clay or Play-Doh to make your own statue. If you want a challenge, look up pictures of ancient Honduran statues and try to recreate one with clay or dough. All right, my darlings, it's time. It's Mommy's. She's up. She's going to take over for me. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Be nice to each other, please. Kiss Mommy and Daddy. Say thank you as often as you think about it. And take care of yourselves. You know what Granny Patty says. You know Granny Patty loves you. And I will talk to you soon. But for now, bye-bye.